All right. Well, good morning. I'm not sure when exactly we go live technically. So you could just be sitting there and I have no idea. I do apologize. But I don't know when it exactly starts. Hopefully people are coming in and they can see me all right and they can hear me all right. That's kind of the goal, obviously. But good morning. Today we are shipping out 25 pairs of shoes, which is awesome. I'm super excited about that. We had pretty good sales day yesterday. It is becoming a normal for that to be the level of what I'm shipping right now, about 20 to 25 pairs, which is great. And I would love to continue that. But for now, I'm going to start out with Depop because it is the least amount of shoes of all of them. Typically, last week when we were shipping out shoes, Depop was actually the second most, and today it is the least. It only has one. Good morning, Juliet. How are you? Hopefully, you're doing well. Let's start out with Depop. I remembered from a couple of lives ago, people enjoyed me having Nifty up as well, talking about what things sold for and how much profit I made off of it. So I'm pulling up Nifty on my phone, so that way I can be accurate in telling you guys exactly what stuff sold for. So we actually had two sales on Depop. One just sold like a couple minutes ago. So I'm actually going to pull that right now. If you guys have any questions, like I said, as always, please feel free to ask them. This will be a little bit longer of a live in terms of shipping, just because we got like 26 or 27 orders to ship out. So we're going to start out with Depop first. And the first sale was a pair of Merrell Jungle Mock boots. They're low top. They are suede, but they also have a steel toe. I think it's either steel toe or composite toe. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But these sold for good money. These sold for $51 on Depop, so I made $46.31. I paid. Everybody liked when I did that last time. What did I pay for these? I paid $20.68. I got these online and a good deal. I actually bought two of them, so that's why they were a little bit more, because I got a bundle deal. They were the exact same size, basically brand new. I sold the other one for $70, and I sold this one for $51 because on Depop, fees are really low, and I made on that sale, I made $25.63. So it took a week and a half to sell, but I sold both of them. So not bad. They are the first sale on Depop. And then we sold another one like 20 minutes ago. And those are a pair of Nikes. So we'll get that sorted. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. I know it's been about a week since I have been on live. So I appreciate you guys hopping in. For your information, for the people that watch me regularly, I am doing a live show. I know that's wild, but I'm doing a live shoe show on eBay Live. So I'm really excited about that. It's something that I have been prepping in the background, which is a lot of the reason why I haven't been on live to talk and stuff like that. But we have an eBay Live show on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm really excited about that. I'll obviously make a post about it, but it's not going to be, it's going to be more catered towards people that are looking for running shoes, everyday shoes that are for personal pairs, not really for reselling, if that makes sense. Some of the pairs you might be able to get them at a discount where you can then sell them, but most of the stuff will be pairs that you're buying where there'll be personal pairs. But that is the deal, and I'm really excited about it, and hopefully you guys are able to come out and maybe purchase a pair or two for yourselves. The next pair is a pair of PG1s. So this is Paul George. This is his first shoe. These sold for $47, and I made $38.96 after fees, and then all in, I was into them for $15.28. So my profit was $23.68. So that was Depop. Those two sales were the Depop sales for the week, or not for the week, for yesterday, and then I sold these this morning. Those are the 2 Depop sales. We will do Poshmark next because there's a lot more of them. I think we have 8 Poshmark sales, 8 or 9 Poshmark sales. I feel like it's a balance. Either I'll have an insane Poshmark week or I will have a insane Depop week. And right now it is seeming like it is an insane Poshmark week, which is great. Congrats on your first upcoming live show. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited. Again, like I said, it's going to be stuff that it's going to be pretty close to new shoes. So if you are concerned about buying pre-owned, most of the stuff has been maybe worn once, if that. And most of the stuff is brand new. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to bring them on Saturday. I'm going to make a post about it. So for the people that aren't on live that are watching this back or something like that, I am excited about that. But that is something that is coming up. All right, next is Poshmark. I'm going to grab the big old bucket. First pair. I should do this in order, so that way I don't freak myself out when I am shipping. Alrighty. First pair is a pair of Nike Pegasus. This is a very old model. This is not a model that I would suggest picking up, but we talked about this when I was cleaning. I think I cleaned these online. These sold for $40 plus shipping on Poshmark. This is a Pegasus 35, so this is 6 models behind. Now, I encourage people to not go that far. The only reason why I went this far back is because I knew they would sell on Poshmark, which they did, and I knew that they would sell quickly, which they did, because of the floral colorway. So, for some reason, I don't know if it's just my Poshmark or just what I know, but this had a ton of attention on it. It wasn't the greatest size either. They were women's size 6, so a little bit smaller, but they sold, I think, within, I can tell you, with Nifty. So we'll scroll down until we find. It took 10 days to sell, so less than a week. I paid $15.10 for them, and I made $16.90. So the bare minimum of what I would want to make, but it only took 10 days to sell. So good bread and butter. But that was something that I felt confident, even though it was so many models behind, that they were going to go for more they were going to go for more than that typical model in a terrible colorway, because of the fact that they were a good color. So $40 turned into $32, turned into $16 in profit, which is totally fine. All right. This is more my speed here. These are the Nike Air Max 270s. This is the light bone colorway. I actually sold 2 of these today, or yesterday. I sold them in a women's, so these are a women's size 7.5. And the other pair is a men's, and those sold on eBay. But for Poshmark, I think these sold for, these sold for $50. So I made $40 after fees. And according to Nifty, they took 15 days to sell. I paid $15.72 for them, and I made $24.28, which is great. So that's where I want to land most of my shoes in that terms of profit per pair, making around $25, $26, $24 a pair. If I can do that multiple times, obviously the $16 ones, they're okay. It's not what I prefer to do, but doubling my money, I cannot complain about that. Next up is another pair that we cleaned on live. I don't remember how long ago, but they were the Rothy's, the driver loafers. They're the women's ones. If you remember on live, they weren't in the greatest condition, but they were still in okay shape. I listed them low because I knew that they would sell quickly if I listed them a little bit lower. And typically, I'd sell those around 50 to 59 because of the wear and stuff on them. I listed them at 49. And somebody sent me an offer for $40, and I took it. So again, same day as those Pegasus, they took 10 days to sell, $40 into $32, and then I paid $15.10. So another one of those $16.09, or 90 cents profit ones. But again, quick sale. I don't mind making a double up on that sort of thing. That's great for me if I can do that. But obviously prefer to make a little bit more money on it. But I definitely cannot complain. This next sale is definitely the answer of next two sales, actually. The answer of raising the sale price. These both are going to require a box. But if you guys, how was your last couple of days? I appreciate you guys hanging out. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking to myself. Hopefully you guys have had some good sales, and if not, hopefully you've had a restful week. All right. Next pair up is a pair of Hoka Skyflows. These are a really nice pair of Hokas. These are in insanely good condition. I don't know if you can see that. They are basically like new. And I had them listed for $129. Somebody sent me an $80 offer, and I probably could have countered, but I only paid $15 for those. So I paid, how much did I pay for these? It took 2 days to sell. I sold them for $80, so I made $64 after the Poshmark fees. I paid $15.28, so I made $48.72. So I made almost $50 on these, which is amazing. So that was going to be my minimum threshold on these anyways, just because of the condition and everything. They sold really quickly. I'm happy to make $50 in 2 days, worth it being sitting. So yeah, that was great. Those probably could have sold for over 100, but for 2 days and making $50, I'm not just going to sit on them and wait. Alrighty. Next up is another pair that sold for good money as well. But this was a retail pickup. This is still a good brand, so I don't mind saying it. These are the Wilson Rush Pros. Good brands. I don't think that you're going to see them in retail anymore. I paid sold them for $75, $60 after fees. I paid $37.36 for these, so I only made $22.64. But they only took a week to sell. So, like I said, with that retail arbitrage stuff, I'm not trying to make all of my money back. If I can make a good portion of that money back, I'm totally happy with that, obviously in profit. So technically I made like $50 all in back in this. But yeah, $22 in profit for retail is pretty good, and I will take that. The next pair, I got 3 more pairs on Poshmark. The next pair is a pair of Adidas Ultra Boosts. So Adidas still sell well for me. Actually, 2 of these pairs are Adidas. These are the Ultra Boost 20 in triple black colorway. These sold really quickly. I actually was surprised how quick these sold. These sold for $44, which means that I earned $35.20 off of that. And after fees and everything, I profited $20.10. So happy with that. They took 3 days to sell. Like I said, I was surprised that they sold as quick as they did. Usually women's Ultra Boosts don't sell really well for me in terms of speed. They do usually sell, but they don't usually do well in terms of speed. And those took only 3 days, which is great. Alrighty. We got 2 more. Next pair is a pair of Viva Barefoots. I actually made a post about this on Facebook. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, please do, because I post a lot of stuff on there. These are the Viva Barefoot Geo Courts. They were women's size 8, and they sold for $55. on Poshmark. So I made $44 after fees, and I think I paid $15 for those. So that would be like $29 in profit. I think is the math on that. May not be the math on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, that's right. Made $29 in profit on those. Vivo Barefoot's one of my favorites. These used to sell for really good money, like $80 or $90. I had them listed at $69. Somebody sent me a $55 offer. It's one where I can make $30 on it. I will take it. And the last pair on Poshmark is another model that I actually am surprised sold as quickly as they did. These are the Adidas Oswegos. Again, triple black colorway. That's probably what sold them. But I listed these yesterday or the day before, and they sold for $45, $36 after fees, and I made $21 in profit, which is great. Good morning, everybody. See, now everybody's coming in. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Smart, Thrifty, and Chick. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Thank you guys for commenting and hanging out. I appreciate it. If you guys have any other questions while I'm sitting here, or if you guys just want to talk about your sales or anything, I am all ears. Is it safe to sell Pumas? I thought I heard they are a Vero. I have not had a Vero issue with Pumas. That being said, I don't list a lot of Pumas. I think I have like maybe 10 listed across all 1,500 of my listings, but it's not something that I list regularly. But I have not heard Puma being a Vero. That's just me, but I haven't heard it. Out of curiosity, approximately how many pairs of shoes were you able to store in your space? Yeah, so right now, if I fill the boxes completely to the brim, so I have all three of these shelves behind me, and then I have one over there. It's like 1,500 pairs. In my space, I could probably do another shelf in here and probably do another 400 pairs, but I like having about 1,500 pairs in there. So comfortably 1,500. I could do more, but this is comfortable for me. That's a great question, though. Thank you for asking. All right, so that is all Poshmark done. So now we have eBay. eBay was 15 sales, which is great. Good day on eBay. And we will get that started. The good thing is most of this stuff, other than a couple of them, is quick bag boxes and stuff like that. So that's nice for me. But we actually just got an offer on a pair of Echoes for $50. We will take that. I won't ship those today, but those will ship out tomorrow. But that is sale number 6 on the day. So we'll take that. 10 a.m., 6 sales already. I will take it. All right. First pair is going FedEx because it is going to the authenticity program. So it's the only reason why I use these boxes that I have to pay for. That is the only reason why I use them, is for the authenticity program. But these are a pair of Hoka 9 Gore-Tex lined triple black colorway shoes. They're in really great shape. I just had to do like one little washover on them, and they were perfect. They sold once, and then the buyer said they didn't want them, and so I relisted them. They took another couple days to sell, which is okay. And they sold for a nifty offer of $75.66. So Nifty definitely sent out an offer on these. So the buyer was all in for $96.85. And according to Nifty, they're listed for 4 days. And I need to input what I paid for them. I paid like $15 for them. I got a really great deal on them. I made $43.53. So and they sold very early this morning. So technically they count as a sale today. They really sold yesterday because of the time difference, would be my guess, because these are going to Vegas. But that is the first sale of the of the day. All right, somebody asked a question. Kelly asked a great question. Oh, look at that. There's the sale. I use Nifty to complete my listings. They put keywords in the description. Do you add style tags in Nifty? No, I don't use any style tags or anything. I use just what Nifty has. So all the keywords, all of that stuff. And if Nifty then puts the style tags in there, great. But I don't add any myself. No. Do you use promoted option for eBay? Yes, I do. I promote I was trying to think if I don't promote anything. Yeah, I promote everything. I do. All right, next pair is a pair of, oh, I'm so glad I get to use these again. They're so pretty. These eBay ones, you can get them for your store, if you have an eBay store, you can get them on your store subscription. Coupons, and they are worth it, in my opinion. Let me talk about these before I just put them in the bag. These are the Project Rock 3s. These are a couple models behind, but if you find them in good enough condition and like clean condition, they still sell for pretty good money. I sold these for $49. My assumption would be that they sold with the coupon. Oh, they didn't use a coupon. That's surprising. I paid $15.72 for these, and after fees and shipping and everything, I made $22.58, which is great. So that is still a good model to look for. The Project Rock model is a good one. I would just only pick it up in really good shape and in good sizes. David asks, what's a good ad rate? That is dependent on what you are listing. For me, my ad rate is going to be very different to a lot of other people's because I can afford to go up on ad rate, whereas some people, their margins are a little bit slimmer, and that doesn't make sense to do that. So I never suggest an ad rate because what works for me may not work for you, and you may need to do a lot less than what I do. But that is great. Also, for everybody asking questions, I really appreciate it because then I'm not just talking to myself and I get to talk to chat. So thank you. Kelly, of course, happy to. Any other questions? Do not hesitate to ask. Do you promote your Posh Closet or boost your Depop? I boost my Depop listings. I think that boosting is well worth it considering the Depop fees are so little. I see no problem in doing that. It's one of those things where it's like, if it fits into your margins, the 8% or whatever percent it is now is nothing comparatively to all the other platforms. All right, next pair. Actually, these need a box. I've been selling these like once a day. I got a whole lot of these resale arbitrage, and these are selling really quickly for me, which is great. These sold for $59. I was into them for, how much was I into these for? $22.71. I made $18.27. So they're brand new. So like I said, I have a thing where as long as I'm making pretty good money on it, I don't mind paying up for stuff. Even if I'm not making all of my money back, but close to all of my money back in terms of profit. So technically it's almost a double up. It's not, but it's very close to being a double up. But if they're selling within a month, I will take that. But these are like discus and throwing shoes and all of that. Of course, happy to help. This is my full-time gig, so I have some knowledge that maybe some people don't have in terms of shoes. So if you guys have questions about shoes and stuff like that, I'm happy to answer that. A lot of stuff, I know a lot of people have lots of information about eBay and all that sort of stuff. Shoes is kind of like my gig, so happy to answer questions about that. Happy to answer about stuff about eBay. Happy to answer about stuff like that. Depop, Poshmark, whatever I'm able to help with, I try. Next pair. Like I said, this is a brand that I'm only picking up if they're in like really good condition. It's UFOs. I'm not picking them up super heavily right now. They used to sell for really good money. Now they sell for like my bread and butter profit margins. So I'm only picking up the best of the best now. I mean, I'm only mainly picking up the shoes, not the sandals. Unless the sandals are perfect. But these sold for $42. They're women's size 10, and I made, how much did I make on these? They took 24 days to sell, and I paid $15, and my profit was $16.43. So just over a double up, which is fine. But again, like I said, I prefer to have a lot higher profit margins than that. Today, I will say, was a lot lower profit margins on a lot of stuff other than certain pairs, which is fine. But it's not the end of the world. Next pair was a pair of ASICS solution speeds. If you can find the newer ones of these is the first model, I think. The 2 and the 3 sell for really good money. I've had these sitting for about 2 months. Again, I knew they were the older model, but I got them pretty cheap. And they sold for $40.18, which is a weird offer. And the buyer sent that offer, so that was fairly odd. I paid $14.03 for these, and I made $18.05. So totally fine. It was just a weird offer of $40.18. I think they what I could gather, they wanted to have like a weird round number, and they were, I don't know, just a weird offer. All right. I made a reel about these. So if you follow me on YouTube and or you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen the reel that I made about this next pair. Price-wise, they don't deserve a box, but shipping-wise, they're just going to take one. These are the Nike SFB boots that I said would sell for like $60 or $70. I also said that they had a bunch of tears and stuff in them. So the only reason why I picked them up is because they were selling for like over $150 in really great shape. And so these had a couple tears in them, as you can see there. I don't typically pick them up, but they were like $6, I think. Super cheap. And they sold for $40. So I was into them for like $15 because of the buy cost. But I still made, so they sold them for $40. I paid $15, and my profit was $15. So I made exactly my profit back, which is great, of my cost. So double up. Again, I don't like picking it. Like, I tried really hard not to pick up stuff with rips and tears and stuff like that. But that is an exception to my rule. If stuff sells for that much money and the rips and tears don't bother people, like I made sure that guy knew that there was rips and tears, and he was like, yeah, I knew. I just didn't want to pay $150 for them, that they were like that, and I can still wear them. I was like, great. So they are going to around the Disney area, which is cool. So that is that sale. Good morning, everybody, though. Hopefully y'all are having a good morning. We got another like 8 more eBay sales, and then I'm done. This is a pair of Hoka Gaviota 5s. These had some like orange staining on the bottom, and I couldn't get it out for the life of me. Tried cleaning them, but the rest of the shoe was just fine. But these sold for full asking price of $59, which is great. And they sold with a coupon. So they sold with a 10% coupon, which is totally fine. But let's see how much I made on these. They took a week to sell, which is great. Paid $15.10, and my profit was $25.80, which is great. So a lot of the times I keep saying that 15 number. Basically, all of the stuff that sold today and a little bit this morning, they were all from that side of the room, which is all of the stuff that is recently listed, which is lovely. I love when stuff that I'm listing is selling quickly. And it helps when a lot of this stuff kind of sits in a way, because I know that the stuff that I'm paying up for or paying for now is selling good. And some of that stuff will wait, and then it'll end up on this side just because it's not as sought after. But that's okay. That is okay. I think it just started raining. Or it's windy. One of the two. It was weird. This is a fun little sale. I don't pick up kids' shoes very regularly, unless they are On Clouds. So these are the On Clouds. They're like a mid-hiking boot. I picked these up, and I listed these like yesterday or the day before. Yeah, they took 1 day to sell, and they sold for $44, which is great. Paid $15 for them, and I made $22.75, which is fantastic. Especially because I don't really sell kids shoes all that often. It's not going to be something that I do continuously, but if I can do it like that, where they take a day to sell, I'll do it more often. But I guess finding on Cloud kids boots is going to be a random one. Good morning, Bobby. How are you? Alrighty. Next one is a pair of the other Nike Air Maxes. So this pair of Nike Air Maxes, we sold on Poshmark in the exact same colorway. It was just a women's size. So this was a bigger men's size. These were a men's size 14. And they are very big, like gigantic. So whoever these people are have big feet. But men's size 14, which is great. These sold for $60. So these also took a day to sell. So I listed these either yesterday or the day before, and paid $15.28, and I made $31.42 on that, which is awesome. So great sale. Was excited that they both of that colorway sold well. So it's going to be a colorway that I'll pick up again. All right. And this guy's name is Benito. Let's go to Staten Island, New York. All right. Another pair of Nike Air Max 270s. This is a women's size. And this colorway, if you ever find it, this is a colorway to look out for in men's. Typically, I don't see Nike Air Max 270s going for a ton pre-owned. These ones, they were listed for over $200 in men's. Pre-owned. So definitely a colorway to look out for if you see them. This was called Seattle Home. So it's got like this green and red sole and then gold. This was a really great sale. This was a women's size or a kid size. So this is a kid size 4.5 that converted to a women's size 6, and it sold in, I will tell you, 2 seconds. It sold in 2 days for $58.65. So that would have been a nifty offer, which is great. And I paid $15 for them, and they also made me $30 in profit, which is great. But that is definitely a model to look out for if you find it in men's, not the kid size. I mean, the kid size is great too, apparently. But in men's, that's a great one to look out for. I have not seen it before. Doug! If the old insoles are missing or in bad condition, is it worth to include a new pair of insoles? Either, if they're missing, sometimes I don't put new insoles in there. If you have the option to and you have like blank insoles, it's not a bad idea. But if they're like in bad condition, I mean, that's just really dependent. I think that's a you thing. Like if you are willing to sell them without, just make sure you price it lower, if that makes sense. I don't think it's wrong to sell them without insoles. I sell shoes without insoles all the time. What do you do with shoes that sit forever and don't sell? Like the longest pair you sat and went on that just wouldn't move. To be honest, I'm not the best about this. There's a lot of times that, so I have a pair that I've had for over, I think in September it'll be 2 years old. What I probably am going to do at some point is I will probably either run a whatnot or something and just get rid of them. But I would either, so I have done it before when I changed this whole setup about a year ago. I did a clean out and I sent like 100 pairs and donated them for a tax write-off. So you can do that. You can do a whatnot. You can do an eBay just to clear out. There's lots of things you can do, but I'm just stubborn and I think they will sell. But you can always update the listings. You can redo the listings. You redo the photos. There's lots of things to do. I'm just stubborn on a couple of those pairs, and that is my own fault because I probably could just get rid of them and buy new stuff. All right. This week, talking about stuff that slowed down, I have stopped picking up Cole Haans that don't look like they are brand new. These are in insanely good shape. but this is going to be my quality time of Cole Haans. They have definitely lowered the price, not necessarily like Cole Haan themselves, but the demand is not as high as it used to be. So unless they are looking to be in really great shape, I'm not going to pick them up as often. But these sold for $50 plus shipping. I paid $15, as we have said a million times. Paid $15.10. I made $23.59 on these. So again, I'm not gonna pick up all Cole Haans like that unless they're in really great shape, just purely because they're not selling as quickly and for as much money as they used to. All right, if I'm getting this box out, you guys should know by now what's going in them. It's a pair of boots. And it is a pair that I messed up on, thinking they were a women's size, and they actually ended up being a men's size. And they still sold for pretty good money. I cannot wait for boot season again. We're coming out of winter boot season, and I'm hoping that cowboy boots come back again, because I got a couple of them that are basically heaters, and I'm waiting for somebody to come and purchase them. But I listed these in 2 different sizes in hoping that they would sell quickly, and they did not. This is a good boot brand if in good sizes. So this is Stetson. I think they do like cowboy hats and stuff like that. They had like inlays, and they're in really great shape, but they're a men's size 6. So a terrible men's size. They're a women's size 7.5, so I listed them as a women's 7.5. And somebody sent me an offer for $53, and it is going to Oregon. So the lady that purchased it, it was a lady that purchased it. So I'm assuming they took it as a women's size 7.5, which is great. But they are ending up in this box because they're going all the way to Oregon. And I'm happy to see them gone. It's not a brand that I wouldn't not pick up again, just not in that size. All right. Couple more left. This one is going to get a box because they're pretty much like dress shoes. When I first started selling shoes, this used to be one of my favorite brands. I'm not really sure why. I don't find it as often anymore, but this is Mephisto. So Mephisto matches. This is one of my favorite brands. Growing up in the reselling thing, it used to be a killer brand, sell really quickly, and these did sell really quickly. These took like a day or 2 to sell, which is awesome. These sold for $50 plus shipping. And they are going to Minnesota. And I think I will tell you, made $23.81. So I paid $15. I will say that not all Mephisto is built to be a great sale. Some of the women's ones aren't great. Men's typically does better, and men's in really good shape does better. That is for sure. Alrighty. We have 2 left. So if you guys have any last second questions or anything, now is the time. Now is the time. 2 pairs left. A brand that I am, again, in the Cole Haan realm, unless they are in insanely good condition like these are, I'm not picking up Olakais very often anymore. But this was a great sale. These are the Olakai Leahi Le'ilis, I believe. That is my Hawaiian coming out. That was pretty good. These sold for $47, which is great. I had these ones listed at $59, and like I said, I think these took like less than 3 weeks to sell. I'd say it took 16 days to sell, so just over 2 weeks, which is great. Like I said, they sold for $47 on an offer, and I made, where are they? $20.99. Good sale. They are going to Maryland. That was my Hawaiian coming out. That was pretty good. Does Ultra sell well for me? It does. Ultra is one of my favorite brands. I think that they're one of the prettiest shoes on the market. I think I can tell you right now. I hardly keep Ultra in stock. I have in the last, let's say, 90 days. No, last half a year, let's say, I've sold 85 pairs of Ultras. I have 10 pairs of Ultras listed right now. So if that gives you any indication, a lot of the Ultras that I have that are listed for a while are older models that I'm just sitting on and waiting until they sell. They will sell. I'm just waiting until they do because they're in really good shape. All right, next pair and final pair. Ow, my shoulder hurts. Yikes. Is a pair of Hokas. These are the Challenger 6s. Challenger ATR 6s. They're women's size 8.5. They sold for an offer price of $50, which is fine. I've had them listed for a week. They sold for $50. That's not it. Just kidding. It took 17 days to sell. So just over 2 weeks to sell. $50. I paid $9.58 for these. I made $28.74. And that right there is the final sale of the day. So there's a bunch more people in here versus when I first started. So if you guys are in here and hearing my voice still and haven't left, I appreciate it. But on Saturday, I'll make a post about it today because I need to. But on Saturday, I'm running my first eBay Live, and I'm really excited about it. We're running, or I say we, it's me, but I'm running shoes that are for personal pairs. So it's going to be stuff that are like pretty close to new Hokas, brand new Ultras, Brooks, Nikes, stuff like that. But they're going to be all running shoes in all different sizes. So if you're looking for pairs for yourself, your spouse, friends, family, this will be a great one to come out to and buy. Hopefully, I keep this connection and I can keep getting shoes like this. I think we have like 29 or 30 pairs in this box, and if it goes really well, then I can keep buying and stuff like that. But it's not going to be like dollar starts. I have to price them at a certain point where I'm making more money than I could at a dollar start, if that makes sense, because I'm paying up for these really heavily to try and get the best stuff for you guys. So if you guys are interested in that, and maybe you're looking for running shoes, or looking for running shoes for your spouse, or anything like walking shoes, that sort of thing, they will all be on Saturday at 7 p.m. on eBay Live. It's live. My show is live right now. So if you want to go and save it, I think I can send you a link to it through eBay. Now, let's see if we can all look together. So if you look on eBay Live, you can see it's me. I made myself a little character, which I think is fun. Let's see. How do I share this? That is not what I want to do. I know how to do this. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. I want you guys to be able to see this, so, or at least have a link to it. Worst case scenario. Let's see if this works. There we go. I think that works. Hopefully that works. We will see. But I just submitted the link so that way you guys can see it. I'm excited about it. Yes. David, what do you use? Something went wrong. Try reloading the page. If it didn't work, I will submit a link later. What do you use to keep track of your overall profits, etc.? Like currently I'm using Apple Numbers, though I'm not the biggest fan. I have a Google Sheets that I used to charge for. It was like, it was like $20. I don't know if it's on Gumroad anymore, but I had a spreadsheet that I had made so that way it was super simple to do that, like to basically follow it and all that. It's like a little bit of a learning curve when you first get it, but I still use that spreadsheet now. I also use Nifty. So Nifty is my cross lister and also my books keeper. So Nifty allows me to delist, relist, and it also tracks all my sales and all of that stuff. So when I was saying this is how much I made, that is literally from Nifty. So Nifty keeps track of everything for me. So if you want a link to that, David, message me and I can send you a link to Nifty as well, because it keeps track of everything. So I can cross list from here. I keep track of all of my sales from here. It does automation, so it sends my Poshmark offers, it sends my eBay offers out, it sends my Mercari offers out, it sends my Depop offers out, everything. The link seems to have worked. Awesome. Lovely. So if you guys want to save that live, I would really appreciate it, because I would love to see some of y'all there. And obviously, if you get pairs, great. If not, you can just sit in the chat and hang out. It's an hour before Wayne's show. So if you want to prep yourself before Wayne's show, you can just come hang out with me. And then when I'm done, you just go over to Wayne. But they're having a Lulu show. What are they doing this weekend? What is Wayne doing this weekend? He's doing a Tommy Bahama show at 8 o'clock. So he's doing Hawaiian shirts. So that'll be a really good show. So you could buy a pair of shoes and then go buy Tommy Bahama shirts from Wayne. But if you guys wanted to save that would mean the world to me. Like I said, I think it worked. The link worked. It may not have worked, but I'm going to make a post about it on Facebook today, and I guess I'll post it to YouTube as well, if I can figure out how to do that. But it's going to be really good stuff. So you're going to pay up for it potentially, but it's going to be stuff that you're not going to beat a deal. Like, it's going to be a couple. Time is the live. The live will be at 7 p.m. Eastern on eBay. So if you go, I can actually show you. If you have the app, so if you have the eBay app, we can kind of walk through it together, because I had to learn how to do it too when I first logged in, because I didn't even know that eBay had a live section. So if you're at a homepage, let's see. If you're at your homepage and you see that green thing at the top right there where it says eBay Live, right there. Oh, hello. If you hit that eBay Live button, right, it shoots you to an entirely different side of eBay. And obviously that's what my little character and my little guy looks like on eBay. I thought that was fun. I made that. But you can just click through there, and then if you go to, if you scroll, you have to scroll for some reason. I don't know why, but you have to scroll all the way down to sneakers. But if you scroll all the way down to sneakers, you can see there's a bunch of people running stuff. Oh, look at that. I sold a pair of shoes. If you scroll all the way down, scroll all the way down until April 11th, you see me and my little character that I made. I was actually pretty proud of that. I think I did a good job on that. But that's me. You can just hit save on there. There's a little alarm bell. You just click and highlight it. So I just clicked it, and it's now dark, and it saves it so that way you can save it. But yeah, it'll be good stuff. I promise. It'll be worth your time to come out. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. We did, we're still sitting here. There's a couple people standing here. I will tell you how much I made yesterday, because I know a lot of people hear each individual thing, but they don't hear the overall of how much I actually made yesterday. And I think that that's important for people like me that have a social media presence and say, oh yeah, I did X amount of money. Like, I feel like it's important to be transparent. So some of this stuff is not included. So there's about 5 pairs of shoes that's not included that sold early this morning. But yesterday, according to Nifty, I did $1,265 in revenue and $528 in total profit. So some of the stuff that sold today, this is not going to be completely accurate. If it will even let me do it. It's not going to let me do it. But we've already done like $300 today, which is great. So like you said, I'm always blessed by you guys for coming out and hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me that there are 15 of y'all just sitting here between YouTube and Facebook watching me ship shoes and show you a little bit of how to sell shoes online. So thank you. I'm incredibly blessed to be in this position, and I will see you guys potentially on Saturday. Have a good week.